everybody, and welcome back to Rugby Wrap-Up. Thank you for joining us once again. I am joined today by Mr. Stephen Lewis and Mr. Dan Lyle, the original Captain America and USA Rugby legend, to talk a little sevens. Guys, welcome to the program. First, Dan.
Thanks for having me.
Dan Lyle, it's been a while. Good to see your smiling face.
Dan, we've got an LA Sevens. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so not the LA Sevens, not the HSBC LA Sevens part of the series that you are nicely wearing one of the t-shirts from last year. No, it is the Quest for Gold Sevens. It is specifically an Olympic prep event. It is 1 month out from the Olympic Games. In essence, when everything blew up because of COVID and the series was wiped off the map for the rest of 20 and most of 21, there was a thought process of trying to connect the dots, maybe playing a couple of second quarter series things that could double as Olympic prep events. But that really was not the case because the 7 Series is so dominant financially on gate and sponsor activation versus broadcast that it really was about, getting these teams prepped for the Olympics. Every country has got a different issue by way of whether you're a red, amber, different level of where you are. So the travel restrictions, getting in, getting out of your country, going back to your country by way of COVID, it has been playing havoc with all of these tournaments. And I think we've only been able to see these 2, right, in Madrid and Dubai, and there's been 1 or 2, as we just saw in the UK, 1 or 2 of kind of training style type ones. We're trying to be the first. The Quest for Gold Sevens will be a Friday, Saturday, 25, 26 June event. Friday will be kind of a friends and family and partners kind of controlled environment, and Saturday is a ticketed event, and it's on sale as we speak. As the LA Sevens was Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. Friday will actually be in the track stadium. Those that follow MLR will know that the Legion played a game there. So men's and women's teams cohabitating one after the other, on full display on Saturday.
Yeah, well, I think maybe we should put it in context. So fantastic to see sevens coming back, top level sevens coming back to the States and LA in particular. But it's part of what is a sort of resurgence, a renaissance, hopefully, in sevens, which was really a bit of a sticky wicket if Tokyo hadn't gone ahead. The World Series under pressure. So sevens as a variant, as a game, was under pressure. But what we're seeing the Collegiate Rugby Championship coming back to New Orleans. We then see an Olympic repechage in Monaco, which I will be attending with the Jamaica team. Then you've got Dan's event, which is really the last chance saloon in terms of selection for certain teams, and that's a month out, so it's ideal preparation for the Eagles. Then the big one itself, Tokyo Olympics. And then today they just announced the date for the World Cup in South Africa next year in Cape Town in September. So it's a big news in sevens.
I think we'll see, Steve, kind of, in using your words, that renaissance, of sevens. They'll announce pretty soon in early June the 22 series. We still have a 21 series to be played. That's kind of a partner make good meets evolution. It's a hard thing coming off the back of the Olympics. So they're, the likes of Hong Kong and Vancouver and Dubai and Cape Town are still kind of, they're still there. So there's a 21 season still to be played, and then a 22 season to be announced. And that is that's part and parcel to the entire global calendar structure going on right now.
So are you saying that there is some collective working together for a global calendar?
I think it was a little bit wishful thinking, now seeing the water that's gone under the bridge, in the middle of COVID, all the messy, bad stuff that was going on. I think that what it's done is it's put people into a position of saying, okay, well, when is it that we can play collectively? I think they've, in the men's 15s game, determined that July and November is that time. It'll always be compromise, and there will always be people that have to, take something versus giving something, and vice versa, depending on what you're looking at. But sevens, as Steve said, was in a painful place.
Yeah.
It still is in a painful place. The priorities of the series now are being addressed alongside the global calendar, so that the priorities of all of these unions, men's and women's teams, as a complementary to their growth of the game, is at the front of it. Keep looking out over the next. I think this week and early next week we'll get to solidify the number of teams that we have, and to your point, Matt, Rugby Canada, men's and women's teams both qualified. Pat on the back for U.S. to qualify early, let our neighbors to the north qualify, right? But they've got such strict COVID requirements coming down, but also going back, that they're humming and hawing about whether they can do it. And there's teams like South Africa that are just sitting in South Africa and they can't do anything. They've got to play against each other. Now they got a dearth of quality players down there to play against, but it's hard to replicate that, right? As we know, Steve, right? So there's a lot of circumstances, and I hope I don't have to use all of these lessons, or all of us, and Steve, I'm sure, in the MLR, using these lessons that we've learned in MLR, too often in the future, right?
So the USA were in England. They managed to get a warm-up tournament in St. George's, which is actually a football training center for the FA. They had a difficult weekend. They had a sort of 6 games over 3 days against GB and Ireland. They went 1-5. Tough, difficult weekend. They finished with a win, so they finished on the uptick, which was they had to do really. But Mike was pretty disappointed with some of the performances, and there's not a lot of time now, in terms of getting that cohesion, playing as units and subunits. A couple of guys not on the plane there. Danny Barrett wasn't there. Perry Baker coming back, obviously, so they're not a full complement, but they've got some things to work on. They need to get home, circle the wagons, get back on the horse, and LA is going to be that opportunity for them.
As per Saturday, fans going into the stadium, how many can you have in there, and how do you get tickets?
Yeah, so just go to usarugby.org and they have a link on their page to buy tickets, or go to access.com and you can go there. Right now we're starting with 7,100. We come out of the gates pretty well. We've sold a decent amount of tickets. We think that restrictions will be lifted a little bit, so we can add to that as we move forward. Relatively free movement. Now California is lifting all the time. By mid-June there might be a lot of restrictions lifted. So we're not having a festival. We're not doing that, but it should be a good gathering, if you will, for people. We're not doing the ancillary tournament and the festival. Some of the things, it's purely in play, 12 to 6 on Saturday, give or take. And as I said, a couple of men's games, then followed by a couple of women's games, really cycling through 3 games at least per team, men's and women's teams, and the men's team will be selected afterwards. And as Steve rightly pointed out, adding the Ben Pinkelmans, the Falaus, even the Nate Ebners and others that are in camp, that it is really going to be interesting off the back of what they're doing. And the women's team will be picking it right before, but there's 2 or 3 players that we know are critical for our team that are going to be playing for the first time in a long time in that tournament. And we've really lowered the prices. $25, is the entry level, and so really trying to make it economical for everybody to come.
Beer sales? Will there be beer?
Absolutely, yeah. Concessions and beer sales. I had you at hello. I know.
All you need. That sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. All right. On that note, fellas, thanks for your time. Dan, best of luck. I hope to see you out there. Steven, you're going to go to the Olympics. I know it. The Jamaican team is going to upset everybody, and we're all going to be at the Olympics together. It's good.
That's a wonderful story.
Great. All right. On that note, thank you, Mr. Dan Lyle, the original Captain America and legend of USA Rugby, and Stephen Lewis, the still reigning 2-time Coach of the Year for USA Rugby and Sevens guru and general manager of Rugby United New York. Well, we have to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
Been blind since I was 4, and I've never seen a beer commercial or a beer label. None of that stuff influences me. I drink beer because of the taste, and my beer is Pabst Blue Ribbon. It has a taste and the flavor.
What do you think's on the label?
I think there's a naked woman riding on a unicorn, jumping over fire. Oh, that's good beer.
And we are back. Matt McCarthy, Steve Lewis, and Jeremy Treece. Jeremy, tell the folks at home who you are.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Steve. Thanks for having me. My name is Jeremy Treece. I'm the CEO of National Collegiate Rugby, which is the largest collegiate rugby organization in the country with over 600 member colleges and 15,000 athletes. And I'm happy to be here today with you guys. Thank you.
Now, are you competing with NSCRO?
No, we're not competing with NSCRO. NSCRO evolved into National Collegiate Rugby, founded by Steve Cohen, the famous Steve Cohen. And I have taken over. I've got some big shoes to fill for Steve as the CEO, and I'm looking forward to this journey. I started in September.
So what is your background?
So I started playing rugby in the early 90s for a small college, North Adams State College in Massachusetts. Fell in love with the game, like most people that start playing rugby late in their age. Coached, founded the Franciscan University Rugby Program in 2000. We took the program varsity in 2007. Got married, moved to New Hampshire. Started a program at New England College, which was in 2011. Took that program to 6 national Final Fours and NSCRO, and I won 2 national championships. Got involved with Steve Cohen, helped him out with NSCRO, formerly NSCRO, and worked my way up through the organization in different positions. And then when the CEO job came available, I applied, and I'm happy I got the job, and here we are.
And Steve, you're part of this organization as well.
Yep, I'm a board member. So I've been on the board, I think, about 3 years now. So terrific organization. I'm sure we'll get into it later. And, you know, some of the things they've done for collegiate rugby, and in particular, what we're about to discuss today, the Collegiate Rugby Championship, the return of sevens. So it's a fantastic, exciting event, interesting format, but I'll defer to Jeremy to explain.
Yes, my elevator pitch, my elevator line here for this, Jeremy, is that it's the return of college rugby's biggest event and the start of a new rugby tradition, May Madness.
Yeah, May Madness. So May Madness was an idea that I came up with last year. And I was looking at how, as an organization, we could grow upon the CRC, which we hadn't acquired yet, but it was something that we were talking about as an organization, how we can make that better. And then we came upon the CRC had a meeting with formerly United World Sports, Patty Pressmack and Rhino, Keith Mirsky there. And the opportunity came up that, we wanted to keep the CRC alive because we found out that, that they weren't going to do it. And John Pressmack built that, and there's a lot of tradition there. And we wanted to keep that tournament alive and what John built. So we came up with so we asked if we could do it, and they said yes.
This is great. It's great news. Tell us about the format. How many teams? Is it men and women?
It is. So it's still men's and women. So we wanted to make it marketable for rugby. So at NCR, what we've done is we've taken 15s and we've moved that to fall. So 15s will wrap up in the fall, and then we turn our entire attention to sevens in the spring. April, in a normal non-COVID year, April will be all qualifiers. We're going to do 16 qualifiers in the month of April. And then we're going to move into May Madness, which is basically March Madness in a weekend. We do 32 brackets on the men's side. We do 16 on the women for a total of 48 teams. And we have a bracket challenge just like they do in March Madness. We have as many games on the men's side as you do in March Madness. There's 64 games to choose from.
Wow.
On the women's side, there's 32. which is going to make it a really cool fan experience. We wanted the tournament to be a roller coaster ride from the opening kickoff to the very end. Next year, we've got a lot of ideas on how we can make it better. We're going to add some group and pools so teams can get together with their college buddies and create these pools and groups like they do in March Madness. So sometimes, some of them can be used as fundraisers for rugby programs. We're going to have one website that's dedicated to the whole thing, so you can get all the updated scores. We'll be there. There'll be a ticker there, so you're not going to have to search for scores for the games. After every game is complete, the score will be uploaded to the website. There'll be leaderboards. The first place winner will win 4 VIP tickets to the CRC next year, and the runner-up will win 2 VIP tickets to the tournament next year. So,
key question, Jeremy. When is it? Where is it?
Great question. So, May Madness is on May 29th through the 31st, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's in New Orleans. We're playing at NOLA Gold Stadium, the Shrine on the Airline. And the tournament begins bright and early on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. and runs pretty much all day. Same on Sunday. And Monday, we'll wrap up probably around 4:30 on Memorial Day.
And what's the fan allowance in the stadium? Do you know?
10,000.
Oh, wow.
Capacity. Yep. We don't think we'll reach even close to those numbers this year. Obviously it's a COVID year, and we got this thing up and running late at about 3.5 months. We're hoping if we can get to a quarter capacity year one, considering that, we haven't done a lot of marketing. We haven't really invested into, that part of it, because this is the first year. We'll be happy. It'll be streaming. It'll be streaming on USA 7's Facebook page. It'll be on Cox Sports, which is the local sport channel down in New Orleans, and it'll also be streaming on the Rugby Network.
USA 7's is different than USA Rugby.
Yeah, the USA 7's Facebook page was the United World Sports page that they used for Vegas Sevens and the CRC in the past. So that page is still active, and it has about 830,000 followers following that page. So we'll be streaming live on that page on Facebook.
And on the Rugby Network.
And on the Rugby Network, of course, and Cox Sports, it'll be on television. I believe Cox Sports reaches about 10 million households from Las Vegas down to Florida up to Virginia.
Will there be any shot at a college championship, a unified college championship in 15s with D1A, say, for instance?
We're always open for those discussions. Our D1, our 15s national championship for men's will be on the weekend of December 10th through the 12th. That's breaking news here. We haven't announced that. And the women's national championship will be the weekend before, on December, I believe it's 4th through the 6th. And, if anyone's welcome to join NCR, we're a very open organization. And if teams wanted to join us from D1A and play in our December national championship, they're more than welcome. The door's open. We're not, we don't own any of these teams that are part of NCR. They're free to come and go as they please. We're just hoping that we built a good enough product, and we're putting out good enough services to the student athletes and their coaches and their universities that people want to stay with us and be part of us. That's our business model.
And how's the current relationship with USA Rugby?
It's as good as it's been in a while. The tournament, the CRC, will be sanctioned by USA Rugby, so that's a very positive thing. And we're working, we're working with them. The conversation is ongoing with them, moving forward into the fall. So we're hoping that we can come to some sort of agreement that benefits all of rugby in the U.S., because we realize that we're all in this symbiotic relationship with each other. Between Major League Rugby, youth rugby, college rugby, club rugby, national teams. And if we're going to make this work in the U.S., we've all got to be pulling in the same direction and not infighting and arguing with each other.
I think with regard to Jeremy's comments, I completely agree. I mean, the important thing this spring, coming out of a COVID pandemic, was to get college kids back on the field having fun playing rugby. So we ironed out those differences. This tournament is happening thanks to the hard work of Jeremy, other NCR people, Pat Clifton, Lucy, So they've done a terrific job in conjunction with, as Jeremy rightly points out, Tim Falcon and Nola have been extremely supportive. I believe support from the US Rugby Football Foundation. So it's a collaborative thing and it needs to happen. And we just got to get it off the ground and enjoy ourselves for 3 days.
And Steve, how about the opportunity for MLR scouts?
Absolutely. So I'll be down there. I'm a board member, obviously, but I want to, check out the latest generation of college talent. And there's some superb teams there, right? You got the top dogs, Life, Lindenwood, Davenport, Army, AIC, lots of good colleges, lots of good programs. There's a college draft for the MLR is in August. And this is really the last opportunity to see some of these guys live, which, if you're going to give somebody a contract, I kind of want to see them live. So yeah, very much an opportunity to scout for players to showcase their wares and for MLR teams to see guys in the flesh.
And Jeremy, on the USA Rugby front, it's an obvious opportunity for young women and men to get themselves noticed for Team USA Sevens programs and even 15s programs.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a good group of women's teams down there as well. We have Life in Lindenwood, we have Davenport, we have Wayne State, which is a small college powerhouse team. University of Northern Iowa is going to be there. So there's Bryant College will be down there. So there are a lot of really good women's programs that'll be there. And if I was coaching the women's national team, I'd want to be at that tournament, looking at them as well.
Yeah, terrific venue. I mean, sevens, right? In New Orleans, what's not to like? I can't wait. You should come. You should be there.
On that note.
Hey, Matt, one more thing. So in addition to May Madness, we have a group of collegiate rep side teams that are coming down to play college 10s that'll be there at the tournament as well. And it was very important for us to put that tournament together as well, because there are a lot of seniors that don't play sevens that were going out without playing their last year of rugby. So it was very important for us to put that tournament on as well, to make sure that those seniors could get on the field one last time and have a fun weekend and play and walk away with some hardware if they're good enough.
So we got 10s, we got 7s, we got New Orleans, we got the Gold Mine. It's all good. The CRCs, the College Rugby Championship 7 series returns. That is so great to hear. I hope to be there. I hope to see everybody out there. And if you're not there, the beauty of it is, as we mentioned, you can watch it live streamed on the rugbynetwork.com, USA 7's Facebook page, and Cox TV locally in New Orleans. But check that. But all good. Rugby's growing in America. Thanks to you guys for helping do that. Jeremy Treece, Steve Lewis. I'm Matt McCarthy. For both of these gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. And make sure you check out our other segments, including our Major League Rugby show, our Global Rugby Recap, What Are the Odds?, our Major League Rugby Sports Bet show with the Philly Godfather, John Bradshaw Layfield, the WWE legend, and Gifty Bailu, Martial Law, the Zack Attack. And please sign up for our American Red Cross Rugby Wrap-Up Blood Donor Team.